Most men think showing endless care is the key to keeping a woman, but in today's world, that mindset could be pushing her away. Why is it that the more you give, the faster she loses interest? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will flip everything you know about attraction on its head. Section 1. The Rise of the Independent Woman. The evolution of the modern woman is one of the most significant cultural shifts in recent history. With advancements in education, career opportunities, and social freedoms, women are no longer bound by traditional expectations. They've become self-sufficient, ambitious, and capable of carving out their own paths. But this independence comes with an important nuance. What they seek in a partner has drastically changed. A man who shows excessive care, constantly worries about their well-being, or places their happiness above his own, can unintentionally undermine his own value. This isn't about women wanting a man who doesn't care. It's about wanting a man who knows how to balance care with self-respect and independence. The modern woman wants someone who is secure in himself, a man who has his own ambitions and isn't willing to sacrifice them at the first sign of affection. When a man is so focused on pleasing a woman that he loses sight of his own goals, it subtly shifts the power dynamic. She begins to see him as someone who lacks direction, someone who is too dependent on external validation. And here's where the problem begins. Women want to be with someone who challenges them, who complements their ambition, not someone who becomes an emotional extension of their own identity. In today's world, the most attractive trait a man can possess is not just love, but purpose. So, why do men who care too much end up alone? Because their care can be mistaken for a lack of confidence in their own worth. Women are inspired by a man who, while caring deeply, stands firm in his own values and pursuits. A man who shows that while he values her presence, he values himself equally, if not more. Section 2. The psychology behind the thrill of the chase. The psychology of attraction is complex, but one truth has remained constant through generations. People value what they have to work for. Modern women, surrounded by a sea of choices and opportunities, are no exception. In this age of instant gratification, where everything is one click or swipe away, there is a subconscious desire for something that feels exclusive and earned. The chase, in its essence, isn't about games. It's about maintaining intrigue. Imagine this scenario: a man who is always available, who answers every text within seconds, who cancels plans just to be with her. At first, this might feel flattering, but over time, it becomes predictable. And with predictability comes complacency. Women of today, who are used to juggling careers, hobbies, and vibrant social lives, crave a partner who brings an element of surprise and depth to the table. The man who centers his world around one person inadvertently loses the very quality that sparks attraction, his individuality. The thrill of the chase is not about playing hard to get. It's about having a life that's rich and fulfilling, one that she wants to be a part of. It's about embodying the kind of self-confidence that doesn't falter when she's not around. Men who understand this dynamic don't feel the need to overexpress their care or devotion. They are secure in their value, knowing that their worth doesn't diminish when they don't cater to her every whim. This makes them stand out, compelling her to stay engaged, to want more. It's about being the man who is attentive, yes, but not at the cost of being intriguing and maintaining his own space and time. Section 3. Why excessive care translates to dependence. There is a thin line between caring and dependency, and men who find themselves left by the women they care for often don't see this line until it's too late. Modern women have learned to identify the subtle signs of emotional dependency, even when they're wrapped in genuine care. A man who prioritizes her to the point of neglecting his own needs or interests can come across as someone who lacks emotional independence. And while women desire connection, they do not want to be the sole source of a man's happiness. Dependency in relationships shifts the weight of responsibility onto the woman, and this can become exhausting. It places her in a position where she feels more like a caretaker than a partner, and this is where dissatisfaction begins to grow. The irony here is painful. The more a man tries to care and be present to strengthen the bond, the more it can feel suffocating to her. A healthy balance means demonstrating that you care without losing sight of who you are. Women of this generation are attracted to men who can be supportive and loving while remaining firm in their boundaries and goals. They admire a man who can say, "I care about you, but I have things to do," or "I love spending time with you, but I need to focus on my project." These statements do not push her away, they intrigue her. They communicate that he is whole on his own and that he values his life and ambitions just as much as he values her. Section 4. How caring too much can erode respect. Respect is the backbone of any successful relationship, and it's often compromised when a man becomes overly eager to please. Women, especially those accustomed to making their own decisions and leading their own lives, look for a partner who exudes confidence and can stand as their equal. If a man spends too much time trying to appease or care for every minor detail, he risks becoming someone she views as lacking backbone. Respect comes from mutual admiration and a sense of reliability, not from sacrificing one's identity for the sake of keeping someone else happy. Modern women are quick to recognize when a man is compromising too much of himself. It signals insecurity, and insecurity is the antithesis of attraction. When a man is so absorbed in pleasing her that he avoids confrontation or refuses to stand up for his own needs, she begins to see him as someone she can't fully trust to hold his own when times get tough. Real respect is earned when a man shows that he has principles, that he can make decisions, and that he isn't afraid to speak his mind, even if it might not always be what she wants to hear. This doesn't mean being harsh or cold. It means being genuine and having integrity. Women appreciate kindness, but they are drawn to those who balance that kindness with the strength of character. Section 5. The power of balanced care. So what's the secret to keeping her interest while showing you care? The answer lies in balanced care. It's about knowing when to be present and when to step back. It's showing love without sacrificing your time, your goals, or your values. It's about listening, being attentive, and supporting her ambitions while also pursuing your own with the same intensity. Men who master this balance become unforgettable. They become partners who offer stability but also maintain an air of mystery. They show their affection in ways that don't compromise their essence or independence. They make it clear that while they're all in when they choose to be, they're also whole and content on their own. Balanced care allows a relationship to flourish without suffocating under the weight of one person's unwavering attention. It tells her, "I'm here for you, but I'm also here for myself." This is what keeps her intrigued, attracted, and invested. Section 6. The allure of emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is one of the most underrated qualities that men can possess, yet it is one of the most attractive to the modern woman. Why? Because resilience signals that a man can handle the ups and downs of life without being overly dependent on anyone, including her. A man who crumbles at the slightest sign of conflict, or who wears his heart on his sleeve to the point of losing composure, sends a message that he lacks emotional strength. Women, especially those who are driven and ambitious themselves, are drawn to a partner who can weather storms, remain calm under pressure, and provide stability. It's not about hiding emotions or being aloof. It's about demonstrating that you can manage them effectively. When a man exhibits emotional resilience, it assures a woman that he won't become an emotional burden during difficult times. He's someone she can lean on without fearing that he'll fall apart. Men who show care but also display emotional toughness without being detached find a sweet spot that maintains a woman's respect and admiration. The modern woman doesn't need someone who falls apart when she faces her own challenges. She wants someone who can stand beside her, strong and composed. Section 7. The danger of losing your edge. When a man prioritizes care to an extreme degree, he risks losing the very essence of what made him attractive in the first place, his edge. The edge isn't about being rude or rebellious. It's the unique combination of confidence, mystery, and passion that makes him intriguing. Men who care too much often suppress their natural interests and behaviors to avoid upsetting their partner, becoming a watered-down version of themselves. This loss of edge doesn't just lead to disinterest, it can lead to resentment. Women are keenly aware when a man is not being true to himself, and it creates an emotional disconnect. She starts to see him as predictable, safe, and ultimately unchallenging. Maintaining your edge means staying true to who you are, continuing to pursue your passions, and not sacrificing your personality for the sake of being liked. It's about striking that delicate balance between being caring and remaining your authentic, bold self. A man who manages to keep his edge while showing care maintains a level of unpredictability that keeps the relationship exciting and engaging. Section 8. The impact of constant validation. Validation is a double-edged sword in any relationship. While words of affirmation and acts of care are important, constantly seeking to validate your partner can become detrimental. Men who are overly caring may find themselves in a cycle where they feel the need to prove their worth through constant reassurance and gestures. But here's the kicker: when validation becomes predictable, it loses its impact. Modern women are confident and capable, and they often don't need or want validation at every turn. They seek someone who acknowledges their worth but doesn't make it the center of their interactions. A man who constantly praises her or seeks to be overly complimentary can come across as lacking depth or self-assuredness. It begins to feel performative, and eventually it feels insincere. The key is to offer genuine moments of validation that are spontaneous and meaningful. Compliment her when she doesn't expect it, show appreciation without making it a routine, and maintain a level of sincerity that keeps her interested. When care and validation are balanced, they become powerful, leaving a lasting impact without diminishing their authenticity. Section 9. The paradox of availability. There's an old saying, "Too much of a good thing can be bad," and this applies perfectly to availability. When a man is always available, always willing to drop everything for her, it can create an unintended effect. While initial availability can be comforting, over time it starts to feel suffocating. The modern woman, who is often juggling her own responsibilities and ambitions, values her space and expects the same from her partner. The paradox here is that availability, when overdone, can erode the very attraction you're trying to build. Women are drawn to men who have a sense of purpose and drive, which naturally limits their availability. This isn't about pretending to be busy or playing games. It's about truly being invested in your own life and pursuits to the point where your time is valuable. A man who has boundaries around his availability shows that he values himself and his time. It's attractive because it communicates that he has things in his life that are just as important as the relationship. This balance, where care is shown but not at the cost of self-respect, is what modern women find compelling. Section 10. The power of setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are the guidelines that preserve mutual respect in a relationship. Men who are overly caring often struggle to set boundaries because they fear it might push her away. Ironically, the lack of boundaries can do just that. Without clear boundaries, a man risks losing his identity, and this can make him seem weak or easy to influence. Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about maintaining a healthy balance where both partners feel valued and respected. For instance, a man who is comfortable saying, "I need time to work on my project tonight, but let's spend time together tomorrow," demonstrates that he respects his commitments and expects the same from her. This isn't cold, it's mature and appealing. Boundaries show that you are not afraid to assert your needs and that you're confident enough to ensure the relationship remains balanced. Modern women respect men who are clear about what they need, what they want, and what they stand for. This kind of clarity eliminates the insecurity that comes from being overly accommodating, and it strengthens the bond by showing that both partners are equals, capable of mutual support without sacrificing themselves. Thanks for watching. If this gave you new insights, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay strong and see you in the next one.